Hey, Bougie Besties. This is a very special episode because not only are you all watching, but we actually have a previous Bougie Bestie right here with us who has gone on to do some amazing, amazing things. And I'm just so appreciative to have her come all the way from Canada to be here with me in Hotlanta so we can talk about all the things that she has going on with her business, where she focuses on relationships with money, making sure that you've healed that. So when you get to the actual principles of budgeting, saving, and investing, you can truly move forward with that. So y'all, if you're interested in taking a deep dive into your personal relationship with money, getting some strategies and some tips around that, stay tuned to this episode and get the help that you need.
Didn't know what was going to happen, but thank God I'm still here. I was terrified. Feel me? What? I know. Dr. Tyrone Butler.
When you say, like, you had like a hard...
Hey, Raquel.
Hi, Raquel.
I forgot her name. Both of our names are Raquel, okay? So let me tell y'all how I met Raquel. So she was a part of a program that I've had for a few years now, and she graduated from the program, and yeah, she just went on to do some amazing, amazing things. Yes. So can you introduce yourself to everyone properly, please?
Absolutely. So my name is Raquel. Some people call me Raquel Tamara, so I don't know if that could be the distinction.
That's cute.
I am a certified life coach and confidence coach, and one of the big things that I emphasize is the need to heal and the need to always strive to be the best version of yourself and not allow past hurts, past pains, past traumas, or insecurities to hold you back from becoming everything that you were called and created to be.
Hey, gorgeous. It's time to start living the life of your dreams. Tired of repetitive patterns? Want to change but not sure how? Introducing our life coaching services designed to support women on their transformational journeys to courageous confidence. Contact us today at RaquelTamara.com.
And can you talk to me about like your process of really finding your purpose and wanting to walk down this path?
Absolutely. So to be honest, the origin of it was kind of accidental. Ever since I was like really young, I just had people just talk to me and tell me like very personal things about themselves. And I would be in random places. I'd be at the bus stop, I'd be at an event, or I'd just be walking down the street. And then it was just kind of like a pattern in my life. And then I fell into coaching. I didn't realize it was a thing, or I didn't realize you can get paid for it. So I literally have coached like hundreds of women without getting paid anything, because I would volunteer in my community. I would always talk to women. It was always women of color.
Yeah. And
they would just share their stories. And in my heart, I was like, oh my gosh, I love you so much. I just want to help you. I want you to be the best you. And and so my thing was always calling out the gold in people, but balancing that with truth and honesty.
I love that.
So I'm not going to baby you and tell you how amazing you are. Only I am, because I love you, I am going to tell you the truth and what maybe some of your blind spots are that you may want to consider. And at the end of the day, everyone has free will, and you have to respect that, right?
Yeah. That's your aura is so peaceful.
Thank you.
So I can definitely see why people would feel so comfortable and just share with you. Maybe because your energy feels like a safe place.
Thank you.
So that's why they do that. That's so beautiful.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. She just has really good energy. You can feel that. And so now, you've decided to go through the coaching aspect to become a certified life coach.
Yes.
Yay.
So, in comes the pandemic and lockdown.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so actually it was something that was on my mind for like a year. But life was so hectic. At the time, I was working for a pharmaceutical company. It was high stress. I was commuting into a different city every day, crazy traffic, stressful bosses, and I was in a space, in a place where I couldn't shine. And the indirect message was, keep quiet and know your place. And I was in a department that was outrightly sexist and outrightly racist. And every day I was just dying on the inside. I had some intellectual property stolen. Like, it was a mess.
Oh, no.
A mess. Yeah. And the pandemic and lockdown gave me the opportunity to reflect, and I was reminded of the things that I really wanted to do and was really passionate about. And I was reminded, like, what are you doing? You're better than this.
Absolutely.
And this is not a space that honors you. Why do you continue to show up every day in a space that cannot allow you to grow and blossom?
Mm-hmm.
And this is why I say everybody needs FU money.
Talk about it.
Because I had FU money,
Mm-hmm.
I said to them professionally, FU. And I dipped. Because I realized that they needed my skill set. I have niche training in the public health space, in the pharmaceutical space, in clinical research. That is very specialized and in high demand. So they needed me more than I needed them.
Yes.
But they didn't want to do right by me.
They didn't want to give you the respect that you deserve.
Not the respect or the compensation. They preferred to contract the work out to 3 separate private companies rather than allow me to develop the program in-house, knowing that I was fully capable. And I hate to say it, but it was to do with the fact that it was predominantly men of a certain culture, which I will not name because I'm not trying to throw shade on any cultures. But in their culture, Black women are at the bottom of the totem pole. So they were actually offended that I was more knowledgeable than they were. And so rather than utilize my skills so that the team as a whole could win, they would rather send these hostile messages
I see.
to me. So yeah,
So you had to take the time to recognize the gold within you,
absolutely.
right? And you had to have those hard truths with yourself.
Absolutely.
And just recognize that. And you made the decision to step out.
I did
on
step
stage.
out. I absolutely did. It was a reminder. Sometimes, so I believe in the power of prayer, and I do believe in like everyone being able to have that relationship with God. And for me, it was one of those things where God was like, "I already told you what to do. What are you doing here?
Right.
You know you don't belong here. What are you going to be obedient, or are you going to stay where it's safe and familiar?" And so for me, it was an opportunity to step out and explore. And it's not that I'm not in the public health space. I love public health. It's my heart. It's my passion. I especially advocate for health equity, specifically for Black and Indigenous people in the region where I'm from. So it's always going to be, consulting is always going to be a part of what I do. However, life coaching is my heart.
Well, I was going to say, even in life coaching, you do it. There's transferable skills.
Absolutely.
From what you were doing to what you do now. And I think that, and the way that God operates is when it's our season to do something new, we are now equipped with what we need to do that.
100%.
And, the pandemic benefited many people, although it was pretty...
tragic.
pretty interesting experience for a lot of, I lost my job. I know plenty of people who lost their jobs, but I also know others who've been pushed into their passion, their true passion.
Absolutely.
And so, although you love what you've done in that space, it was within a field that God was wanting you to recognize that there's a greater purpose for you. You're not honored here. You're not valued here. So create your own lane. And so now you've been able to go out there and you've been helping women. You've developed a program. So talk to me about what made you design your program the way you designed it, and who is it designed to serve?
Absolutely. So it's designed to serve those who are frustrated, at their wits' end. They desire change, but maybe they don't know how, or maybe they're too afraid. So the coaching that I offer is multifaceted. So there's individual sessions, there's group sessions, and there's specifically a digital course called Gimme Balls.
That's so cute.
The ultimate guide to courageous confidence. So so the reason why I developed it was, as I said before, I previously, when working in my community, I was the equivalent of a lay pastor and a small group leader. And that's how I was coaching hundreds of women over a period of maybe over 10 years. And I specifically would work with millennials. It just kind of worked out that way. And there was repetitive patterns, and I saw the same things coming up over and over again. And so I developed the program based on the prototypes of the people that I had worked with, and then my own personal experience, and combine that together. So I walk people through the journey to success, which is there's 7 steps to building your confidence in 6 key areas.
I love that.
So part of what I go through is it's almost like taking a baseline assessment. So I will hand somebody a sheet and ask them specific questions in 6 key areas. So just to name a couple, it's self-talk, self-perception, self-care, self-protection, things of that nature. And I walk them through and say, okay, where do you see yourself in these categories? And it's mapped out on a chart. And so it provides them with the baseline to be like, this is where you're at today. Where would you like to be? And then from there, we can develop a plan and a strategy to help them move forward.
I love that.
Too many women shrink back and dim their light, constantly people-pleasing and conforming to molds we were never meant to fit. But it doesn't have to be that way. Our transformational coaching services will equip you to live a life of fulfillment, purpose, and passion. Our fun, feminine, and flirty VIP signature package is designed to activate your feminine energy and attract the love of your life. And our digital group coaching course, Give Me Balls, the ultimate guide to courageous confidence, will empower you to become a stronger, more confident version of yourself in just 8 weeks or less. Don't let frustration and exhaustion hold you back any longer. Join us on this empowering journey to unlock your true potential. Contact us today at RaquelTamara.com. Start living the life you've always dreamed of.
So what are some questions? If I was a new client of yours, could you give me an example of what some of those questions are? Because there's people who are watching and they're like, man, I really need this.
Yeah.
I feel like providing an example for them would give them a deeper thought to it and really help them move forward on making a decision that, yes, this is definitely for me.
I think there's a few questions that come into play. Number one, when you're in a group setting and you're in a group with a group of people, do you shrink back and shy away, or do you step up and allow your gift to shine? Does making your gift shine make you feel uncomfortable? If so, why? Another thing that I will ask people is, do you find that when something is, you've prayed for something and you're walking out that blessing, do you do things that tend to self-sabotage? Like, do you do things that will, mess up the blessing, so to speak? Or do you embrace it and feel that you're worthy and that you're loved to experience that blessing?
I love that. That's awesome.
Thank you.
So, you all, if you're listening, you're like, that's something that I definitely need. I want to be a part of. In the description box below will be the link to be able to join her wonderful program. Her voice is so soothing. And I feel like this will be a very good safe space for you to be able to grow and to be able to let your light shine and to be able to be comfortable with that and stand in your authority. And so this program that you have, you said it was 7 steps. Is that correct? Or 6 steps?
So the program, so I have a few programs, but if we're talking specifically about the digital course, it's actually an 8-week group coaching program with 6 modules. So in there, we talk about things like doing a soul detox. So detoxing from negativity. How can we cultivate peace on a daily basis? How can we confront the inner critic and the inner bully that holds us back from stepping out? Then I talk about, how can you discover your superpower, which is your courageous confidence? And then how do you take life by the balls and become like the best version of you unapologetically?
That's beautiful. So that's your 8-week group coaching program. And what are some of the other services that you offer as well?
So there's one that I really like. It's called...
You just lit up when you talked about it.
It's called Fun, Flirty, and Feminine.
Oh, okay.
And it's a way for women to reconnect to their feminine power and to find the love of their life. So yes, but before you find the love of your life, you do talk about loving you. Right? Because the whole point of being a part of a relationship is to add value and not go in there wanting to take. You can't do that if you feel deficient in any shape, way, or form. So we work on you. When you're strong and your mind is right, then we can talk more about relationships and strategizing there, and then being open to new opportunities and embracing new people who come into your life and not shying away from that.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And I feel like being comfortable in femininity, like, it's maybe a personal opinion, but I feel like we culturally are so used to being the strong, independent figure. And 9 times out of 10, that is not even what we want.
No.
We've just been positioned to have to stand in that space.
Yeah.
And I love that you're creating a space to where you're saying, no, it's okay. It's okay to walk in that. It's okay to want to be in that. But I feel like for many of us, we've been almost forced to be
100%.
to take on a more masculine energy,
100%.
to walk in this independent space even when we don't want to.
And I just gotta be honest.
As you should.
It's actually a trauma response.
Yeah, absolutely.
It comes from a very, very unhealthy place. Unfortunately, it's a historical thing as well. And yeah, many times Black women and other women of color, we have taken on a more masculine energy simply because maybe we didn't have anyone that we could depend on. We didn't have a strong male figure in our lives. And we knew that if we didn't do it, no one was going to do it for us. Right? But if you look at any other race or any other culture, that's not something that they embrace.
Absolutely. I'm sure it could come from childhood traumas. It could come from traumas from being with a spouse.
100%.
And so just creating that space where you can say, no, I see you, and you don't have to continue to walk into that. And you can learn to be comfortable with even the thought of being dependent or quote unquote like submissive and being cared for.
Yeah.
People hear that, and some people hear that and they go on guard.
Yeah.
Because it would be a trauma response, like you said.
It's a trauma response, and it's a defense mechanism. Not healthy.
Yeah.
But it's logical. Like, it's a logical response. It's not a healthy response.
Absolutely.
And I'm all about creating safe spaces for people. I think it's very important to hear people and listen and then understand where they're coming from rather than create judgments.
Yeah.
Like, some of the things that people have told me over the years sounds crazy. But if you listen to their story in its entirety, it's like, oh, it makes sense why you would behave that way.
Yeah.
It makes sense, Yeah. But yeah, in terms of just defaulting to the masculine energy, I think that as women, as Black women, that we need to become comfortable with being reunited with our feminine selves and not feeling like that's weak, not being ashamed of that, but embracing that because that's who we are, and that's who we were created to be.
That's what we want to be anyway.
Of course.
Like, I see so much on social media.
Oh my gosh.
I don't need a man. That's
Stop it. Stop it.
Real women need a man, okay? Like, and they want a man. They want a man to lead, and they want to be there to be that support person. 110%.
Who wants that stress?
Nobody wants to do this by themselves. Nobody wants to do that. But unfortunately, through either traumas or societal standards or what have you, it's become conditioned to where people feel as though this is the standard, especially for Black women, and we're not offered a lot of grace.
No, we're not. And
so with this being a level of your expertise, what would you suggest for the woman who was like, sis, I'm tired. I'm tired of being so strong all the time. I'm tired of being independent. It's not what I wanted to begin with, but I'm here.
Yeah.
Like, what would you offer as some suggestions or tips that could help them?
That's a great question. I think there's a few ways to go about that. I think the first thing to do, the first word that kind of comes to mind is to detach. And by detach, I mean take some time for you. Because it's more than likely burnout.
Yeah.
You got a lot going on. There's a lot on your plate, a lot going on in your mind, and you're burnt out. So I think the first thing to do is to detach and just pause. And however that looks like in every season of life. For some people, maybe they can't take vacation time off of work. For some people, maybe they can't afford to go on a vacation. But we all can take some time to just be alone, even if it means an hour or two for the week, something, and then find an activity that refuels you. So whether that's finding like comedies to watch, or whether that's going to the spa, or whether that's I just need to sleep, or whether that's like going to your favorite restaurant and then getting a massage, whatever the case may be, whether it's going to a fitness class or something to refuel and re-energize you, whether it's heavy lifting. Like, I kind of fell off the bandwagon a little bit, but during the pandemic, I was weight training like crazy. And it felt so good to lift heavy stuff and drop it. It was so therapeutic for me. It was therapeutic for me. So find what refuels you and stick to it. Don't let it be a one-time thing, but carve out time in your schedule for you. When you are more calm, when you are more refueled, then we can talk strategy. Then we can talk about next steps. But the first thing is you have to re-energize yourself. You have to rejuvenate.
I love that. What would you say would be the next step after that? Is it therapy? Is it a program? Like, what would you say?
Absolutely.
Is the next step?
I'm of the mindset that I think everybody needs a therapist and at least one coach. I think it's a both and type of situation. And even if you feel like, oh, I've had an amazing life, I've never had anything traumatic happen. Life happens to everybody, and there is such thing as intergenerational trauma. So the anxieties or the insecurities or the fears that you have, it may not even be your own. It could literally be passed down from generation to generation. And it's just good to just do a house clean and then maintain that,
I love that. That's beautiful. And so, Raquel, you mentioned that's another program that you have. You got your group program, you have that. Are there any other products or services that you do offer?
Healing retreats.
Oh,
yes.
Talk to me about
So this year I turned 40.
Really?
Yes.
It don't crack. You hear me? Gorgeous.
Thank you.
Yes.
So this year I turned 40. And I'm in the works. I'm talking to the agent right now. So it's soon to be released. So you can know, I'm saying it publicly because I want to be held accountable to that.
Yes, they're going to be looking for it.
Okay, all right. So literally, it's my 40th birthday, and I really want to take this time and not just celebrate and rejoice, but to reflect on the journey. But I want to bring other people with me on the journey. I think it would be so fun.
Yes.
So that's in the works. So we shall see. There's a couple plans that I had, and it fell through, unfortunately, just with timing and stuff. But definitely a retreat that will happen end of October into the beginning of November. So we can heal and just like create a bond of sisterhood, and then also just like party for my birthday.
Yes, and just to be honest, that is also a great business strategy. If I can get that out there, because when you do that, now your birthday's tax deductible.
Yes.
So, yes, come on retreat, come on birthday, all the things. And Raquel, when we spoke previously, I do want to touch on this.
Yeah,
because you did go through the 8-week program that I had. I think it was 8 or 12 weeks. It was one of those.
It was 8.
8 weeks, right? And there was a part in there that you said that was really transformative for you. Yeah. And if I'm not mistaken, it was the relationship with money and digging through those traumas. Can you share with not only me, but anybody who's watching out there, how that helped you, and if it helped you in your business journey of deciding like what you wanted to do?
Absolutely. So,
if you don't mind,
no, that's okay.
I loved it when you shared it with me.
Yeah,
I would love for
absolutely. So, even how I found you was just such a divine thing. I can't remember if it was like an ad or Instagram, something like you just popped up on my screen, and I was like, "What is this?" And so I was like, "Ooh, I want to do this," and I was like, "Whatever." There's so many things going on. I can't even right now. And then I literally had a dream.
Oh.
I had a very vivid dream, and it was of myself. I'm going to get real personal here, but so this is kind of like my origin story. So I was born out of a teenage pregnancy back in the early 80s, and I am from an immigrant home. So there were times in the beginning, things are very different now, but in the beginning, it was rough. It was rough. And so I had a dream where I was grown as I am today, but I was back in that apartment that we were in, except everything was stripped bare. There was nothing in there. The walls were stripped. The floors were stripped. It was like material deprivation at its best. And I literally felt God say, you need to address this because this is your relationship with money. Even though, I was like, but God, like I'm in a pretty good place now. Like I make decent money. Like I'm very strategic. It's like, yeah, that's great now. But until you fix your relationship with money and how you perceived it at a young age, this is always going to be your default setting.
You didn't tell me this.
So that's why I registered for your course.
You didn't tell me that.
Yeah.
I didn't. Wow.
Yeah. So then literally, I think it was like either an email reminder or something happened again. So I had seen your course. I had the dream. I was reminded of your course. And I was like, I need to do this because I need to fix my origin story. Because no matter how much success I had achieved, it still went back to the default setting when I was a child and the way I had viewed money and my relationship to it, and it was not healthy. And I felt God say, like, you're gonna be stuck unless you deal with that. So when I was taking your course and we had to talk about our history, our stories, I wrote all that out and all of that came to light. And I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't even know how deep it went, because I just thought we got money in the bank now, like we have choices. I was like, we're good. And God was like, you need to fix that mindset.
You had to heal that.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. You didn't share that with me.
Yeah. That was the story.
Wow.
Yeah. I had so much anxiety around money and it wasn't logical. And I think I had mentioned that in the course because I remember one time it was you, myself, and Coach Alex, and you were saying stuff and I couldn't register what you were saying because I felt so much anxiety and so much angst, but it didn't make sense because if you looked at my bank account, if you looked at my budget, everything looked good. There was no reason for me to feel that level of angst. And it was like I had to like take a time out and be like, okay, like I had to reconnect with my therapist and be like, listen.
I remember you, especially during that part of the course, you were so tuned in.
Yeah.
Like, I remember just thinking back and seeing your face on the Zoom calls and stuff, and you were so just tuned into the process of what that looked like for you. And I'm just really grateful that you followed what you felt was the right thing to do for yourself.
Thank you.
Because you just never know. Like, you seriously never know who you're going to impact by following what you feel is the right thing to do.
Absolutely.
And I know that with the courses that you have and the programs that you have, you don't know who's watching this.
That's true.
You know?
That is very true.
And they may be sitting there bawling their eyes out listening to these things. They're like, this is exactly what I need.
Yeah.
You know?
Can we just pause for like a second? I just really feel that I need to say this.
Yeah, absolutely.
For the person who might be crying or in tears, and maybe you know why, maybe you don't know why, I just really feel strongly to say to you, I see you, I hear you, your feelings are valid, and yes, there is a way out for you. And yes, there is surely a future hope for you, and your hope will never be cut off. I just want to remind you of that. Yeah.
That was beautiful.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Raquel, the time that we spent together, I really got to learn more things about you.
Thank you.
She flew all the way in from Canada.
I did.
You guys, and I'm in awe of it. She brought me a beautiful gift of rosé.
Rosé with ice wine.
With ice wine, which is very, it's just from her area. Like, from the feeling
So I'm from Toronto, and Southern Ontario is known for all the wineries and vineyards in the Niagara region, close to Niagara Falls. And what we're known for is our wines, our red wines, and specifically our ice wines. Ice wine is a very specific wine, and it has to be made in temperatures that are minus 40 degrees over an extended period of time.
Wow.
So it can only be made in certain parts of the world. It's a sweeter wine. It is a bit of a sweeter wine. Some people pair it with certain desserts, and some people add it to desserts. So I just thought I'd bring a part of where I'm from to you.
That was so kind of you, and I love a good sweet wine. So that is just so beautiful. And I'm going to make sure I send you off with It's from Wine Water. So when I had my conference in February, they sponsored the wine at the conference. Okay. And it's like a wine mixed with a seltzer. It's really cute. Okay. So I'm going to make sure you have one. I believe I have Rosé here. Okay. Or Sauvignon Blanc. It's one of them. But
I will try it.
Yes.
Thank you.
That is so amazing. So you've gone through this journey. You're helping women. You specifically focus on women of color.
Yeah.
Why did you choose that niche, that target audience?
I don't know if I chose it or if it chose me.
Come on, talk about it.
It was so strange. Like, okay, so what happened was I went to a specific university, and then I ended up working in the health research department of that university. Very strong in clinical sciences, very strong in medicine, and that's where I was working. And I kept meeting international students everywhere I went. I just kept meeting them, and they would just take a liking to me. So, and it's probably because I come from an immigrant family. My heart was like, oh, you're new. You don't know how things work here. Yeah. So I'd be like, okay, who do you know here? And many of them were like, I don't know anyone. I was like, no. Come with me. And so even if it was like, we need to go grocery shopping, or I'm going to cook for you, or you're going to come home with me for Christmas, or whatever it was just like, I don't want you out here by yourself. You don't know anybody here. And it's not always safe. So it was just one of those things where it was like, again, it was like I would see people and I'm like, I see you and you matter. And so it's just in my heart to do that.
Yeah. And also, you know, I don't know if this is talked about enough, but I feel safe when I see someone who's like me. You know what I mean? Like, when I've gone to different conferences, there's this one finance conference every year. And when I went there, I'm like, I see other people that look like me, but I'm like, cousin.
Yeah.
You know, because it's just like, hey, you see me, I see you. There's not many of us here. Let's band together.
Yeah.
So I'm grateful to have you in this space. I'm grateful that, you know, even though you're on the other side of the pond, I think that's what they say, the side of the other side of the sea.
Girl, it's okay. Don't worry. I'm just north of the border. We're good.
Oh, you know what? You know what? I was in Detroit, and I did not know that Detroit is it Detroit?
It's Detroit and Windsor
are so close.
There's
like a bridge.
It's a bridge that separates.
I learned that.
Literally.
I was like by the water, and my friend was like, you know, that's Canada. I was like, say word.
Yeah, we're really close.
I really close. That you can drive into Canada.
Yeah, no big deal.
She's saying it like it's nothing, but you don't know. Like, I'm out here drunk. I'm like, what?
Yeah, all the time. Like, I knew people in Windsor, so I'm from Toronto, but Windsor's another major city, and they would just drive over to Detroit to go to the parties and stuff, like, and then just drive back home.
I was just thinking too, like, Georgia to South Carolina, it's no big deal, but it's a big deal. You know, all over the country, like, it's so cool. So, Raquel, you know, I really enjoyed spending the time that I spent with you today.
Thank you.
It's been amazing. It's been amazing to not only have known you as a student, but to see you shining in your purpose, shining in your light. That. You look like you're at total peace.
Thank you.
You do, and you look like you are really thriving in whatever you're doing with your personal self and your business. And I wish you nothing but the best success.
I appreciate that.
With it.
Thank you.
What is your goal what is the name of your business?
So it's Raquel Tamara Coaching and Consulting. So okay. I do some business consulting as well.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, actually, that's what I used to do in my day job a lot. I used to procure a lot of contracts and do various types of business consulting, and some of that was international clients.
Yeah.
Like literally around the world, and I had to travel for that as well. So that's definitely in my tool belt.
She's like a business woman. Okay, so you have your businesses. You have your business that does multiple things.
Yes.
And you are getting ready to launch a new cohort, right, of your program.
Yeah.
And so for those of you who want to learn more about the Give Me Balls course, which is read in the description box below, click on the link that is provided for you all, and learn more about the program that's offered. If you feel drawn to the class, sign up. You know, oftentimes I feel like people fear. They're like, well, what if I'm wasting my money? Well, what if or maybe this just isn't for me right now.
Yeah.
And what people do when they have that mindset is you're telling yourself no before you're giving the opportunity.
Yeah.
to be able to actually help you, or for you to say like, okay, well, maybe this wasn't really for me, but if you're listening and you feel drawn to it, then 9 times out of 10 it's for you. And I would really encourage you, if you feel like there are some areas in your life that you can really take a deeper dive on and get the help, then do that. Raquel has studied this material for some time. She's helped hundreds of people in this space, and she just has that aura that says it's okay and it's going to be okay, and I'll help you through this if this is an area in which you want to grow. So I just really appreciate that you came to really talk about that.
Thank you. I also want to add that I actually do have a money back guarantee.
No, you don't.
I do, for the digital course. If you follow every single module, do the homework, everything that it was laid out in the program, and you don't see any change, you get your money back.
It's a win-win.
You get your money
Either
back.
you're going to change or you get your money back.
And if time is an issue, one of the bonuses is specifically on time management.
Yes!
You can see that on the sales page under the frequently asked questions.
Yes. So it's a complete program.
It is.
It really is a complete program. Yeah. And you'll walk away a different person. You never know when you sign up for programs, especially like 8-week programs. You may think you're going in for one thing, and then it's like that one module that really just shifts everything for you.
Yeah.
Like I've seen people say, I just want to get my money together, not knowing the whole time that it's their relationship with money that's wrong.
Yeah.
Or I just want to get my money together, not knowing their time management is affecting their ability to be able to manage their money.
Sure.
So with your 8-week program, you all may go in there and say, I just really want to work on this specific thing. And then notice that module 2 and 4 are the real modules that you needed.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with me in the Bougie Lounge.
Thank you for having me. I'm super excited.
Yeah.
I feel like this was, I feel really good about this. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. This is actually one of the first times that I've really been able to promote my own brand, as opposed to kind of being like the front person for, some of the other corporations that I've worked with in the past. So this is all just very lovely.
You are a full corporation,
Thank
full
you.
CEO,
Yes,
a full multi-millionaire who blesses other future multi-millionaires.
Come on.
You are everything
Amen.
that God has designed you to be. And
Amen.
I'm really, really happy to be a part of your journey, Raquel.
Thank you so much. I'm
you.
so excited.
Y'all, please flood her with love and support in the comment section. Let me know if you went out. We don't even have like an affiliate referral thing going here. It's not about trying to sell you. It's about trying to help you. So figure out what's best for you. And if her program you feel like is best for you, I really encourage you to go and sign up with that. If not, tell us, what was your favorite part? What was your takeaway from this conversation today? Okay, besties? It has been a pleasure hanging out with you in the Bougie Lounge. Until next time, friends, I will see you later. Bye.
Bye.
Hey, gorgeous. It's time to start living the life of your dreams. Tired of repetitive patterns? Want to change but not sure how? Introducing our life coaching services designed to support women on their transformational journeys to courageous confidence. Contact us today at RaquelTamara.com.